Hey YouTube, BEN.O.CICHLID here. Thank you so much for tuning in. There are two things that us fish keepers love to hear, especially us African cichlid keepers. One is, are those saltwater fish? Who doesn't love hearing that, right? It means that your fish are just simply beautiful. The second thing is, hey, where's the water? Your fish look like they're floating in air. And that's a great compliment because it means that your aquarium looks perfect and pristine and very, very clean. So let's talk about how to get those fish of yours to float in air, okay? So here's some tips. I hope you find them useful. Be sure to comment below with what you have found to be useful in keeping your aquarium looking pristine and clean and keeping those fish floating in air, all right? Thank you so much. Let's get right to it. I think I'll start this with a disclaimer. And the disclaimer is this. Perfectly clean looking water is not necessarily healthy water. Always keep that in mind. This tank looks very, very clean. At the same time, that water could be loaded with ammonia. You wouldn't know that by looking. So with that in mind, let's get into tip number one. And tip number one is something very, very basic, and that is the viewing panels. And by that what I mean is keep your glass clean. Use mag floats, use sponge scrapers. Be sure to use the ones appropriate for your tank. For example, some are not good on acrylic, and always be sure never to get a piece of your substrate on your sponge because it will scratch your tank. But keep those panels clean, and even the top of your tank, keep that clean as well because it will block the light from getting into your tank and really showing off the colors. Tip number two, proper setup of your media, and by that what I mean is not how in what order or whether you're using floss or this or that. What I'm talking about is if you cut sponges, be sure those sponges are reaching the edge of wherever they're supposed to fit. Why? Because water will work around it and simply not get filtered. Tip number three is patience. We have to have patience, and I see folks getting very impatient, for example, with what they call new tank syndrome. You get an algae bloom or some bacteria blooming, you get cloudiness, and they start getting frantic and adding chemicals. Just be patient, it will pass. Tip number four, one of the least expensive and best tips for clear water is using floss. And floss that is popular in the hobby, of course, is Pinky. I use it in my filters. And polyfill. Polyfill is great. It's inexpensive. Buy crib batting that is untreated. In other words, not fire retardant. And that way it'll be safe for your fish. The next tip is chemical filtration. It certainly has a place in the hobby. Some people wonder about whether it impacts beneficial bacteria. The jury is still out on that. I've used all the products you see here, and I've had great results with all of them, and they've all done what they're supposed to do and created clarity when I needed to remove some particulates, or if I had a haze of some kind. Those products, the matrix carbon is amazing. Pristine and clarity both work well, and of course, you know I'm a fan of Purigen. Even though, full disclosure, I am moving more and more away from the use of any chemical filtration in my tanks, and I only have one tank currently where I have any Purigen, and that's 2 bags that are in the sump. And for no particular reason, I have just found that I'm getting very, very good water quality without it, and I'm moving in the direction of simple. Tip number 6 is routine maintenance. As our friend John Hudson likes to say over at KG Tropicals, check out his YouTube channel. He likes to say, do the work. And you really, really have to do the work. And I usually dedicate Saturday mornings, and sometimes it spills into the afternoon, to really clean the tanks, do the vacuuming, clean the glass, clean the acrylics, really maintenance the canisters, do whatever is needed to keep these tanks looking up to a standard that I like them to look like. And so it does involve time and effort, and certainly using things like a Python hose, things like this can make the job easier, but definitely stay on a schedule and stick to it. Tip number 7, avoid foods that cloud the tank. Some foods are a bit notorious for cloudy water. These can include Ken's veggie and spirulina sticks will cloud up the tank. So will Cobalt's probiotic, predator food, New Life Spectrum, certainly things like frozen krill. These things are all a bit notorious for clouding the tank, but I still use them. They do provide nutrients that I feel are valuable, and I also use, of course, Northfin, which I find doesn't cloud at all. But I do provide my fish with a variety of foods to fill in some of the gaps that maybe just providing them with only one food would allow to occur. Tip number 8, UV sterilization. Some people are very big on this. This is one that's out there that is around $100. They can get up into the $200, $300, $400 depending how sophisticated you want it. I've seen some decent results with the UV bulb that's in a Sun canister. So they do kill off certain types of bacteria and algae, and there's some debate as to whether or not the ones in canisters do much with regards to viruses and bacteria, but I've seen a difference in water clarity with UV sterilization. If you can afford it, get a high level, a high-end one, but you can always just use one a few days a week the way I do in a Sun canister. And I've seen it actually make a difference and give the water a bit of a polish. And here's a bonus tip for you. After I've gone and said all of this, I'm going to tell you, don't obsess about your water clarity. The truth is, the second you get it looking perfect, one of your fish is going to make sure that it's not perfect. It's always a work in progress. Get it to a point where you're comfortable and just enjoy the heck out of your tank. So there you have it. Those are my 8 tips for keeping your water looking perfect. What do you recommend? What tips do you recommend for keeping water looking spotless and perfectly see-through and keeping those fish floating in air? What do you do? Share below. Share your tips. I learn from you most certainly. So thank you so much for tuning in, and be sure to rate, comment, share, all that good stuff. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. And that's all for me tonight. Thank you so much.